Welcome everyone to another episode of Rev on the Road, and I'm here this afternoon with Wattana, and he is the artist that owns the Wattana Art Gallery, and you can see he's a TripAdvisor winner, and he has beautiful paintings that perhaps I will show you more later, but if you come to Chiang Mai, you have to make sure that you come by his beautiful gallery and see his amazing work. So I'm going to interview Wattana now, the questions with a few added on. So the first question, Wattana, is what brings you joy in life?
Well, as you see it, all I do in my life is making art. Yeah. Enjoy it. Oh, sometimes I'm enjoy, and sometimes I have some struggle. It's just like working on in other professions. But
There are the ups and downs of each
yeah,
day.
it could be that. I mean, to be honest, sometimes I have some problem to resolve, and well, another is I can say that it's the only thing I can do. I mean, making art, because I don't have other choice.
Okay. And when you go to kind of recharge your battery to be able to be at peace in order to create more art, where do you like to go for that? Do you have a particular place that you go to just get inspiration for your art?
Yeah, well, inspiration, and artists talk about that all the time. I mean, that's what they need to have. Well, me too. I don't know to call it inspiration or something else, but yes, it's important, and it's the thing that you have to find it in order to get your work going, and also I would say another thing is important to make art is passion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that ties into the third question as well, is what is your passion in life? If it's anything that is on top of doing your art, what other passions do tie in with it?
Well, the passion to make art, I don't know, it could be different from others, but I believe that well, first I think we should talk about what is passion, but whatever it is, but I believe that art should have passion and should make it with passion. Passion in art could be different. People talk about passion, you might just talk about things that motivate you to do it, to do the work, right? And things that make you do it, because without it, you probably. Now, let me put it this way. In general, people talk about passion to make you work, but I mean, making art, you have to have passion to work, and also your work has to have passion.
Yes.
To show the viewer. It's not like only that you have passion to work, but your work that you created has its own passion to the viewer too. So that means, yeah, okay.
Well, I just noticed that your art does seem like it does hold some deep passion in it, and like even the work behind you, that it looks like it's actual textured cloth, but you painted all these little lines. And do you want to share a little bit more about that and what inspired you to paint these Thai?
Well, to help to explain this question, you might look at this photograph on the wall here. Okay.
Okay. Weaving, yes.
Yes. You see what's going on? That somebody's weaving, right? So that's illustrated at least to answer that question. Well, this is the way I do. Before I working on this series, you talk about line or the textile. I went to learn weaving from the Hill tribe lady. Okay, so I learned how to weave before I working on the painting.
That's you in the photo then.
That's right.
And up in the
yeah, and that's a while ago. My hair now look prettier than that photo. Right?
You age nicely.
Well, anyway, so I'm telling you that I study weaving. Okay, I learned how to weave, and then I'm working on this series of textile painting. Weaving, you probably know that when you see people weaving, they weave line by line, the thread, right? The thread will weave line by line. And then I realized, you probably know that before the weaver will get a piece of textile, it takes a long time, right? Time consumed, and you have to be patient and disciplined and all that. And then the slowness is really what you have to take. You have to be patient. I mean, with this working on weaving. But then at one point, I thought, I'm a painter. I paint, I draw. So when I see this line that I'm weaving, I thought, why don't I paint like weaving? That is a line by line that I would draw or paint with line like weaving. So that become a special technique to make a textile painting, to see the line like weaving.
You do it very well. I was deceived at first, thinking it was a cloth that you just glued onto a canvas. So
yeah, well,
you really can't tell.
People sometimes they're confused about that.
Yeah.
they think cut and paste on
the
actual fabric on it. But that painting is done with acrylic, and to get that effect, because I mean, many artists paint like a fabric, or can paint fabric, make paintings with but I want to get that effect, that because experience in weaving, that I want to have the texture like a real fabric. So that's make it different.
And I noticed you do a lot of portraits as well. And so are you more inspired to do portraits, landscapes, or still life, would you say?
Well, as being a painter and with trainings behind me, of course, I mean, I've been painting landscape, figurative paintings, portraits, and still life and all that. But I think if you look carefully, each of those, either still life or figures that I use, it has certain, I don't know, certain reason that I use. What's your question?
Well, I was wondering which one you have more passion about. Which one do you enjoy doing the most out of the three?
Well, like I told you that in general, paintings or work of art should have a passion within it, and that's either you paint still life or portraits or landscape. And it should have a special expression in it. The same. I mean, if you look at the portraits or the face of a person, I mean, probably there's something. It's not only pictures, right? And
well, you do some, as I said, very beautiful work. It's amazing how it comes through your passion with your art. Now, I also wanted to ask you, being that it is still 2020, how has this year changed you? Or how has your life changed during 2020 with all that's transpired with the pandemic?
Well, that's really shocking that I think it's affected everyone with this.
On a personal level for you here in Thailand. Oh, it's not good to cough when we're talking about COVID.
Well, I have some.
No, I know.
problem
I'm
with,
just teasing.
With my voice and my throat. Anyway, well, the COVID-19, as I said, it's affected everyone. But for me, having this gallery, it used to be pretty active before the COVID, because it's an art gallery. People come to look at art in a gallery, and mostly tourists, visitors. Well, there are some students and some artists, sure, local and abroad, and from foreigners from different countries. But then now it's, as you see it, it's empty and quiet, almost nothing.
Yeah, it's very sad.
And well, because also Chiang Mai is the city for the tourists, for travelers. But if tourists cannot travel, cannot come, so even the city is almost like a nothing to. And then, my gallery is an art gallery, and I'm. You asked about my life. I would say that it doesn't bother me that much because I've been living and working like this. I mean, I like to be quiet. I like to be peaceful and work, and it doesn't bother me. The quietness. So I'm still working, and if people don't come, it's okay. It's I think it's a common for me. I mean, my lifestyle is a bit like this. Yes, but when people come and like to talk to me, or like to see me, yes, sure, I have time for them. But in general, I'll be in my studio working. I need to be quiet anyway, you know. So I live here as you see it. You know, it's behind the street, and not busy around here. It's okay.
So you enjoy the peacefulness now that COVID has brought, even though it hasn't helped with business. It's,
you're right. Yeah,
it's peaceful.
Yeah, it's okay.
And I also like to ask people, what words of wisdom do you have for either people living during this time into 2021, going into the future? What has helped you get through some challenges in terms of a philosophy or an idea or a quote that you have that you could share?
Well, as we talked about earlier, about inspiration to work for working. I work with inspiration, but inspiration for me is doesn't mean that I have to look for something very look for master art or look for high philosophy, you know, or that talk about the high inspiration. But since now I live in Thailand, I've been travel quite a bit, and now I live in Thailand. I come back here. My inspiration is very common. I'm interested in textile. It's common. I mean, this is, you can see when you go to the village, you see people weaving.
Right. It's like a national art.
Yeah, it's common, and it is here. And I see people weave basket, you know, bamboo basket, or weaving textile. People do pottery, people do wood carving. I mean, this is what they're all doing. They do paper, making paper to make umbrellas and all this. And all this inspire me. And it's so common. But I'm making art. Then I said inspiration is something important. And also I work with inspiration. But then my inspiration is just so common. It's common and simple. Or I found it from the local art, or folk art, or village art, and that I got it from either textile or crafts, wood carving, or making paper, or basket weaving, bamboo weaving. I mean, all this is it's so common. But when to make art, I don't see them. I don't see this as I'm work with a what would I say? I think I got inspiration, and I found wisdom. Let me put it this way. I found wisdom rather than I feel superior than all
Right.
all this. I found that's helped me with wisdom.